If you believe that China is Africa's savior and the West is the colonizers, you might be falling for a dangerous trap. It's the same cycle, just with different players, but it's still the same game. Whether it's the US, Europe, or China, none of them is working to develop Africa. They are working for themselves. And hey, it's not even a conspiracy. This is just how international trade and geopolitics works. Today, I want to show you why it makes no real difference who dominates Africa's economies and why Africa will still be at the bottom unless we industrialize and climb the value chain. Let's go. China has become the biggest trading partner of many African countries. Many young Africans are excited by the Chinese railways, roads, and flashy investments. But let's be honest, China is not investing in Africa out of love. These infrastructure deals are part of Chinese Belt and Road Initiative, a global strategy to allow China dominate trade routes and secure raw materials. Most Chinese infrastructure projects have Chinese workers, Chinese technology, and done by Chinese firms. Here is the fact. Between 2000 and 2020, China loaned over $150 billion to African governments. Most of that money is tied to contracts with Chinese companies, money that leaves the continent. Ports, roads, and mines are being leased to China in return for debt relief. It's like neo-colonialism, but this time it's dressed in Mandarin. This isn't new. It's the same game that the West played during the colonial and post-colonial past. Africa exports raw materials, gold, cobalt, coffee, and imports finished goods. Today, China imports crude oil and cobalt, then it sells refined petroleum products and batteries to Africa. The profit is made in the value-added stages, and we are left buying back what we already produce in the raw forms. Ask yourself, how is it different from what Europe did for centuries? We've changed only the flags, but the same economic models apply. The only way out for Africa is to industrialize. No country has ever developed by selling only raw materials. Africa must build factories, refine its own minerals, manufacture its own goods, and empower its own entrepreneurs. We need local industries to create jobs, develop skills, and keep wealth circulating within our own borders. We talk about exporting cocoa, but import chocolate. We export cotton, but import underwears. Export crude oil and import diesel. That must change. until Africa moves up the value chain, will continue feeding other people's economies. Here's the truth. Many young Africans are comfortable to replace oppression from the West to China. But the presence of China in Africa makes industrialization of Africa even harder. You may ask why? Well, cheap, mass-produced products from China floods African markets and undercuts African manufacturers. China never opened its own markets until it had already built the infrastructure for manufacturing. We have done the opposite. We have opened our markets without having any manufacturing sector set up. It's time for Africa to stop looking for saviors. Not the West, not China, not Russia. Africa must define the terms of engagement. We must trade, yes, but strategically on our terms with national and continental interests first. Yes, Donald Trump is doing Make America Great Again. Me, I advocate Make Africa Great. We need to understand the world respects value and not complain. If we bring raw stones to the market, we'll be seen as laborers. If we bring finished machinery, tech, fashion, and medicine, we will be treated as equals because we bring something of higher value. Let's stop arguing about the West or China, who is better. The real issue is, what is Africa bringing to the table? So here's the truth. There's no difference if China or the West dominates Africa, as long as Africa stays dependent on exporting raw materials. Our future depends on one thing: industrialization. Until we make that shift, we will continue cheering for foreign powers while staying economically powerless. It's time to stop exporting rocks and start exporting results. If this video challenged your perspective, like it, share it with someone, and subscribe. Let's have conversations that matter. Africans must think big, because no one else will do that for us.